Like, what would have happened to me if my friend didn't show up? Would I have been arrested too?
It was a big day for Naomi Sayers. On February 26, Sayers, who's a lawyer in Ontario, had just been called to the bar in Alberta. That night, she got off the CTrain here at City Hall at around 10 p.m. And that's when she witnessed the arrest of an Indigenous man by transit peace officer. Being an Indigenous woman herself, she stopped and observed what she thought was a rough interaction. But now it's her own treatment by transit officers that has her questioning their motives.
The peace officer who was roughing up this Indigenous man had noticed me, and then, he looked at me and I said, I'm a lawyer, I'm observing, and I maintained my distance.
Soon after, there were some other officers who came by. Then the man was read his rights and arrested.
They start walking towards the arresting van, which is at the closest lights, and I'm walking that direction because that's the direction that my friend parked her car. The sergeant walks up to me and stand right close to me and starts asking me questions. What's your name? Do you want to give a statement? And I tell him I don't want to give a statement. I felt like I couldn't leave because they were asking me these questions, walking really close to me, and sort of leading me towards the van where the arresting officers were. The arresting officers were waiting outside the van after they put the Indigenous man inside the van, and were standing outside like as if they were waiting to arrest me as well.
At the van, Sayers says this is when the sergeant asked her for her identification.
I gave him my bar card, so my Law Society of Ontario card. And then he says, well, do you have anything with your date of birth? And I said, no, here's my driver's license. And then I noticed that there was a business card in my wallet, and I said, here's a business card. He starts making allegations that I'm being standoffish, I'm being uncooperative, that they need to verify whether I am actually a lawyer, that I haven't committed a criminal offense.
At this point, her friend had shown up and started recording the interaction.
The reason for that is because anybody that articulates that they're a lawyer or a police officer or something like that, that there could be criminal charges against them, or claiming that there's something that they're not.
We reached out to Calgary Transit Authority concerning this interaction with Sayers, asking specifically, when do officers request identification with a date of birth? They wrote, Calgary Transit peace officers would ask for government-issued ID when a citizen wants to file an official complaint against one of our employees. The purpose of asking for government ID is to ensure we have the correct info for the citizen so that we can have our professional standards investigator follow up with the complainant. Sayers isn't sure what her next step is going to be, whether or not she's going to file a formal complaint. But she hopes that by sharing her experience, she isn't preventing people from looking out for each other. In Calgary, Tara Overholt, City News.